Tourism in Budapest. The travel guide is the best way to enjoy your trip. Budapest is a charming city with many attractions. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Transport in Budapest is very safe compared to other capitals in many countries. You can buy your ticket at the ticket machine, at the ticket office, or on the Budapest Go app. Don't forget to validate your ticket at the machines or with the QR code outside and inside the vehicle. Keep your receipt so you don't pay a fine. If the ticket inspector asks for your ticket, show it immediately. It is forbidden to drink or eat on public transport, which also carries a fine. Visit the link to check the conditions. Children up to the age of 6 can travel for free and no certificate is required. If the child has reached the age of 6 and has not yet started school, they will need a kindergarten certificate to travel. Children with a Hungarian student card can travel free of charge until the end of the school year in which they turn 14. People over 65 can travel free of charge with any original identity card or any other personal identification document, photo ID. Photocopies of ID cards are not accepted. Visit the link to find out more about free travel. Download the transport map as a PDF file. Check the day and night lines. You can also find transport timetables at the bus stops. The Millennium Underground Railway Museum, which has been open to the public since 1975, commemorates the continent's first underground railway, which opened on May 2, 1896. In 1996, on the 100th anniversary of the launch of the Underground Railway as well as the entire metro line, the museum itself was refurbished. It's well worth a visit. The Budapest Metro has 4 lines that are easily integrated. Travel options.
Budapest has trains, buses, trolleybuses, metro, and a suburban train known as HEV. There are also railway stations for the whole of Hungary and some other countries, such as Austria, Slovakia, the Czech Republic, and others. The Buda Castle funicular since 1870. UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1987. Buy tickets at the counter. Advice: wait and go in the first row to see the view.
We've divided the places to visit into groups to make it easier to get around Budapest. Group A. Buda Castle and surrounding area. You'll probably need a whole day to get to know every detail of this beautiful place. Funicular Clark Adam Tour. Funicular Buda Castle. Sandor Palace, home of the Hungarian Prime Minister. Buda Castle and its enchanting fountains. Matthias Church is a Roman Catholic church. The current building was built in the Gothic style. Fisherman's Bastion is a terrace in Neo-Gothic and Neo-Romanesque style. It was designed and built between 1895 and 1902. The construction of the bastion destabilized the foundations of the nearby 13th century Dominican church, which had to be torn down. Between 1947 to 1948. The Buda Castle labyrinth was created by the action of hot spring water on the limestone rock of the hill. Throughout history, the Buda Castle labyrinth has had different uses, including wine cellar, torture chamber, and prison during the Middle Ages, as well as bunker, military hospital, and others. Today, the Buda Castle labyrinth is open to visitors. Castle Garden, Bazaar, the perfect place to enjoy the view of the city, relax and take beautiful photos of the richly decorated buildings. A New World was born exhibition. More than 100 years have passed since the end of the First World War. New World Was Born is a colorful and interactive exhibition about this sad and remarkable period at the beginning of the last century. Take a photo at the feet of the giant combatants and their sandbags. A headset for detecting air raids in 1917. On the banks of the Danube, there is a wartime listening device. The listening device, labeled Air Defense Early Warning Listening Ears, 1917. It faces the pest side of the river. The device was used to amplify and monitor the sound of aircraft approaching the city during the First World War. The instrument is on wheels so that it can be used throughout the city. Europa Liget, Europe's park. The park is located next to the Vienna Gate, under the walls of the historic Castle District. It is an excellent meeting place. It was inaugurated on September 4, 1972, to commemorate the centenary of the capital and the Congress of 29 European capitals held on that occasion. The leaders of each capital city planted a tree typical of their country's flora and able to withstand Hungary's climate. The name of the donor city is inscribed on a limestone plaque in front of the trees. A statue of Zoltán Kodály, sculpted by Imre Varga in 1982, was placed in the park. Don't miss the chance to visit these places. Group B. The Shoes on the Danube, in Hungarian, Sipek a Dunaparton, is a memorial created on April 16, 2005 in Budapest, Hungary. It was created to honor the Hungarian Jews who were massacred during the Second World War, between 1944 and 1945. Two stories are told about this sad episode. The first is that, because they had valuable shoes, the soldiers ordered the Hungarian Jews to take off their shoes before being executed at the water's edge. The second story is that the Hungarian Jews themselves left their shoes to be remembered later. And indeed, they did. The monument represents their shoes left on the shore, and when you visit the site, you can feel a sense of sadness when you see the shoes of adults, children, and even babies. To this day, many people bring flowers and candles for the victims of that time. It is one of the most visited tourist spots. The Budapest Parliament, where the Hungarian National Assembly meets, is one of the oldest legislative buildings in Europe. It is a very popular destination in Budapest. It is considered the second largest parliament in Europe. It was formed from the union of three cities in 1873. In 1880, after 7 years, a competition was organized to build a representative parliament building that would symbolize the sovereignty of the nation. The competition was won by Imre Steindl, but the other two competitors had the opportunity to build two other buildings. The winning project began in 1885 and was inaugurated on the country's 1000th anniversary in 1896. The building was completed in 1904. It is estimated that around 1,000 people were involved in the work and that the foundations used around 40 million bricks, 500,000 precious stones, and 40 kilograms of gold. Don't miss the chance to take some beautiful photographs in the surroundings. Group C, Statue of Imre Nagy. Born into a peasant family, Imre Nagy was drafted into the Austro-Hungarian army during First World War. Captured by the Russians, he joined the Communists and fought in the Red Army. He then worked in the Hungarian section of the committee. In 1929, he moved to Moscow, where he remained as a member of the Institute of Agricultural Sciences until the end of 1944. He returned to Hungary under Soviet occupation and helped establish the post-war government, holding various ministerial posts between 1944 and 1948. He was a leader of the reformist wing of the Hungarian Communist Party after the death of the dictator. It was not until October 1956 that he became prime minister during the revolution and agreed to radical anti-Soviet measures. After Soviet troops occupied Hungary and forcibly suppressed the Hungarian Revolution of 1956, Nagy was executed and secretly buried in 1958. This story is very controversial and contentious. I just suggest you take this tour and take some beautiful photos on the bridge, with a beautiful view of the Danube banks. Enjoy. Group D. Colombo statue and dog investigating the murder of a squirrel armed with a small gun. The Colombo statue is a life-size bronze work located on Foc Mixa Street in Budapest. Peter Foc was the actor who played the police detective. At the foot of the Colombo statue is a statue of Colombo's dog. The actor had Hungarian ancestors, but there is no family connection to the 19th century politician Mixa Foc. Budapest, full of fantasy, enchants tourists. A statue of a squirrel armed. This is another small pop-up work of art that adorns Budapest. There are around 30 small objects scattered around the city. Group E, Hero Square.
Hősök tere.
Hero Square, the Millennium Monument, is one of Budapest's main squares. The statues represent the 7 chieftains of the Magyars and other important Hungarian national leaders, as well as the Heroes Memorial Stone. Some people mistakenly refer to it as the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. The site is worth visiting day and night and, if possible, in different seasons of the year. The square is at the end of Andrássy Avenue, the most beautiful avenue with the most expensive square meters in Budapest.
Andrássy utca.
The Rinks charming neo-Baroque building, completed in 1895, has contributed to Budapest's historical allure. Recently renovated, it has a cafe and a place for changing rooms and equipment rental. Located in the city park.
Városliget.
The
Városliget.
ice skating rink offers an enchanting winter experience. It's more than just a skating venue, it's a tradition. What's more, the venue adapts to each season. In summer, it turns into a lake with pedal boats. Group F.
Vajdahunyad.
Castle. Vajdahunyad Castle is one of the most romantic castles in Budapest, Hungary. It was built in 1896, demonstrating the architectural evolution over the centuries and styles in Hungary. It has a picturesque fantasy, generating curiosity among visitors. Some even say that the castle once belonged to Dracula. The venue hosts various festivals, concerts, and exhibitions by the Hungarian Agricultural Museum. If you're visiting Budapest, you can't miss this special place. I'm sure you'll have a great time. Anonymous Belle Regis Notarius or Master P. Between the 12th and 13th centuries, he was the notary, i.e. a scribe and chronicler for a Hungarian king, probably King Bela III. Little is known about him, but his Latinized name began with P, as he referred to himself as P. Dictus Magister. Anonymous is famous for his work Gesta Hungarorum, The Deeds of the Hungarians, written in medieval Latin around 1200. The work itself provides historical details of the Hungarian conquest of the Carpathian Basin, explaining the origin of various Hungarian place names. Located in front of the Hungarian Agricultural Museum building in the city park, the life-size bronze statue of former Minister of Agriculture Ignac Duranyi was unveiled in Budapest in 2017. Considered an exceptional statesman and a true patriot, he served the interests of Hungary and the Hungarian nation throughout his life. In spring, the site is decorated with beautiful flower landscaping, which enchants and encourages tourists to take beautiful photos. The Jack St. Laszlo Chapel is a building in Budapest originally built in the 20th century for non-religious purposes, imitating a church. Built in wood and plaster as part of the so-called Romanian group of Millennium Historic Monument buildings in 1896, it had deteriorated by 1899 and was demolished. The complex, popular with the public, was rebuilt between 1904 and 1908 and, in the latter year, the group of Romanian buildings, now made of durable materials, was completed. Today, the Jack Chapel is run by the Catholic Church. When the chapel is open, tickets are sold at the door. As you stroll through the city park,
Városliget.
you come across beautiful sights, including the porcelain fountain in front of the refined
Millennium kávéház és étterem.
restaurant. The area is beautifully landscaped with benches for visitors. An opportunity to relax from your walk and admire the sight. Adventure time. The balloon flight Budapest reaches a height of 150 meters. From various points in the city, when the balloon is in the air, we can easily locate it, knowing that it is in
Városliget.
park. If you're brave enough to embark on this adventure, you can enjoy a privileged view from a perspective you've never seen before. On clear days, you can see the city in 360 degrees from up to 20 kilometers away. Looking down from the basket, you can see the Székely thermal baths and Hero Square. Don't miss this opportunity. Museum of Ethnography. The Budapest Museum of Ethnography was founded on March 5, 1872, and is one of the first specialized museums in Europe. As part of the ethnological archives, the film and video collection. The museum's photo collection, with 340,000 items, is the largest collection of images of traditional Hungarian peasant and folk culture. About 150 years later, a new building is opened. The new Museum of Ethnography was built between 2017 and 2022. The museum has ample underground parking, a lift, and is accessible. You can enjoy several indoor and outdoor attractions. The most visited attractions are House of Hungarian Music, Memorial to the Hungarian Revolution and the 1956 War of Independence. However, the building's trademark is the glass curtain wall that surrounds the landscaped roof garden, which resembles two intertwined slopes and consists of almost 500,000 pixels, a scan made of metal grids based on ethnographic motifs selected from the museum's Hungarian and international collections. The pixels were inserted into a laser-cut aluminum grid by a special robot. The more than 2,000 small cubes are attached to the building. Group G. Central Market Hall. The Central Market Hall, First Market Hall, is the oldest and largest covered market in Budapest. The idea of building such a large market came from Budapest's first mayor, and it was his biggest investment. It opened on February 15, 1897. Next to the Freedom Bridge. On the ground floor, you'll find the fruit, vegetable, cheese, spice, wine, and bakery market, in Hungarian Pékség.
Pékség.
On the same floor, you'll find a statue of Gyula Krudi, a famous Hungarian writer and journalist. He wrote several novels, short stories, and newspaper articles, and his works often dealt with themes such as love, nostalgia, and the past. The statue depicts his taste for gastronomy and the numerous culinary descriptions found in his writings. On the first floor, there are restaurants, clothes, handicrafts, Hungarian t-shirts, and souvenir products. In the basement, there is a fish market, a supermarket, and the history of products created in Hungary, such as the magic cube, palinka, and even medicines. Group H. Gellert and surrounding area. The House of the Water Spring. Inaugurated in April 2003, the fountain is made of beautiful porcelain and is a popular tourist attraction. According to the original plans, the fountain spouts were supposed to supply water from 8 medicinal springs, but for economic reasons it is used as tap water. Statue of King Street Stephen, Szent Karali, on Gellert Hill, opposite the temple and the Green Liberty Szabadság Bridge over the Danube. An attractive place to take photos. Cave Church in the rocks of Budapest's Gellert Hill, a unique church carved out of the rocks of Gellert Hill. Construction of the church began in 1926 and it opened its doors in 1931. The church consists of 2 parts, one is a natural cave and the other is artificial. The temperature in the cave is 20 degrees Celsius all year round. It's worth a visit, it's a very pleasant place. You can buy your ticket at the door. The most beautiful tree in Hungary, the almond tree on Gellert Hill. For the adventurous, it's worth climbing up to Gellert Hill. As well as the magnificent view from the top of the hill, there's the memory that the almond tree preserves. In spring, you may be lucky enough to see the blossoms of this beautiful almond tree and take some beautiful photos. The Well of the Gellert Legend, the restored Gellert Legend Fountain, an ornamental relief fountain on the south side of Gellert Hill. It was created by sculptor Ferenc Medgyessy and architect Tibor Müller, 1943. The work of art was damaged in the Second World War and was later restored. The sculpted phrase is, "Blessed is the woman who fulfills her duty with such a joyful song." The artist depicted the Bishop of St. Gellert and his assistant, the grinding woman, the singing girl, the flute-playing boy, and the Hungarian host.
Gellért hegy.
Liberty Bridge or Freedom Bridge connects Buda and Pest across the river Danube. It is the 3rd public road bridge. It is the shortest bridge in the center of Budapest. It was originally built as part of the Millennium World Exhibition at the end of the 19th century. The bridge was the first in the city to be rebuilt after suffering extensive damage during the Second World War. Along the entire length of the bridge, you can photograph beautiful scenery. Group I. Citadel, before renovation and surroundings. The Citadella is the fortification at the top of Gellert Hill in Budapest. Citadella is the Hungarian word for citadel, a type of fortress. It occupies a strategically important place in Budapest's military history. It was built in 1851 by a commander of the Austrian Empire after the Hungarian Revolution of 1848. The site has an incredible view and you can see the whole city from the top of the hill. It is currently closed for renovation. In the near future, it will be possible to visit the site by purchasing a ticket. The Philosophy Garden is a group of sculptures that plays an important role in the cultural life of the hill, not only as a visual experience but also for the message it is intended to convey. The group of sculptures, inaugurated in 2001, is made of bronze and granite. Its purpose is to symbolize tolerance and peace, displaying key figures from the world's religions. The sculptures, arranged in a circle, include sculptures of Akhenaten, Jesus, Buddha, Lao Tzu, and Abraham, with a glowing globe in the middle representing a common representation as a link between religions. Behind the circular arrangement are sculptures of Mahatma Gandhi, the Buddhist monk Bodhidharma, and Saint Francis of Assisi. These are people who achieved spiritual enlightenment and followed the moral guidelines of their religion throughout their lives, and committed themselves to passing these values on to others. When visiting the site, as a tradition, people crouch down and place their hands on the globe and make their wishes. These must be kept secret so that they can be fulfilled. The place is frequented by people of different religions. Prince of Buda and the Princess of Pest Monument. As I have mentioned in other videos, Budapest is a city full of fantasies that arouse the curiosity of visitors. The statues of the Prince of Buda and the Princess of Pest depict the tragic story of lovers separated by the Danube. However, some people say that behind this fantasy lies the message of a reality lived in times of war. Hungarian families were separated when soldiers bombed all the bridges. People were prevented from traveling from one side to the other by boat. If they tried, those who did were bombed. It is worth visiting this magical place and seeing the city from above. Group J.
Deák Ferenc tér.
And surroundings. Ferris wheel. Fashion Street. Lego train. At the end of the 18th century, the district's renewal plan laid the foundations for Deák Ferenc Street, making it the first connection between the city center and the riverbank. Deák Ferenc Street 21 is the shortest building on the street, but also the one with the most respectful history. This building played an important role during the Hungarian Revolution, serving as the headquarters of the first Hungarian Academy of Painting. After the renovation of a building on the street, it was named Deák Palace and has since served as a high-end office and retail building with 2 stores fronting the street, Hugo Boss and Tommy Hilfiger. During the renovation process, the builders used various shades of copper to redecorate the buildings. Thanks to the impeccable work of the real estate agency, the dream of Fashion Street was realized. The buildings were renovated with great care to reflect their historical appearance and were partly rented out for retail purposes, with the most valuable brands found on this street including Tommy Hilfiger, Hugo Boss, Calvin Klein, Philipp Plein, Lacoste, Massimo Dutti, Lindt, Stumer. Check out the link below to see all the stores located on Fashion Street. In addition to bars, restaurants, an aquarium, a Ferris wheel and wonderful gardens, there is also a Lego train exhibition on site. A new attraction, but it is not yet known how long the exhibition will remain on Deák Ferenc Terrace. Illustrative map showing the approximate location of the main tourist attractions. Use the Google Maps application to find your way around. This is the most accurate app for getting around Budapest. If you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel and click on the bell to receive notifications. Cheers and see you in the next video.